Welcome everybody. I'm Karen and I'm going to be taking over for Josh today because Josh is in transit, I believe. So welcome everybody to the monthly board meeting of the St. Catharines Downtown Association. Before we get started on our land acknowledgement, I'd like to acknowledge our new member. Charvin, would you like to say a couple words about yourself? How tall are you?
6 foot, I think. Yeah. My name is Jarvin. I've been downtown for 15 years, doing retrofit development mostly, and yeah, I love St. Catharines. A huge fan, and I'm excited to contribute in some way.
It's fantastic to have you. Welcome, and you'll get a chance to chat with everybody as we have breakouts later. I'll turn it over to Orhan for land acknowledgement. Oh, Orhan. All right, then I'll turn it back to me for the land acknowledgement. We are honored to live and work and play on the territories of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, of the Anishinaabe peoples, and the Adirondack and the Mississaugas of the credit. I would always remind everybody, I can't see that far ahead, so I'm going to do that. That's okay. We often do territory acknowledgement, which is recognizing everybody who lives on these territories and has lived and stewarded these territories, but we often forget to acknowledge the land itself. So I would always take a moment and remind us, think all the way down to your little feet and encased in their socks, encased in their shoes, and below that is laminate, below that is concrete and steel, and it is so far removed from the earth of our own. And it's often important to remind ourselves that we are connected to that earth, and that earth has sustained us and supported us, and will continue to do so as long as we continue to take care of the land. And now, can I ask for any declarations of interest? Hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Can I have someone to move to accept the agenda as presented? I can never remember this from me, even though I know people. Jennifer, moved by Jen, seconded by Amy. Is there any additions that we need to do to the agenda, or are we good to go with that? I'll call the vote. All in favor of approving the agenda as written? Excellent, looks like it's passed. Let us move on. Can I have a motion to approve the previous minutes from September 25th? Amy and Jen, the other way around. Mover and seconder. Do we have any additions, omissions, or corrections for the minutes of September 25th? Hearing / seeing none, I'll call the vote to approve the minutes of September 25th. And it is approved. Let us move on.
So for marketing communications, just a handful of things I want to highlight. Obviously, great job with Halloween. That we already talked ad nauseum about that, but also want to congratulate Kat on the marketing success of that. Brought in over 1,000 people. Awesome. Also very exciting. Sarah, who's been supporting Kat in marketing, has been able to be brought on full-time until March, Kat? Pardon?
March 1st.
March 1st. So able to secure a grant. So we have full-time support for Kat, which is incredible. Very excited to see what she can do with more human power. We started our sponsorship with the Ice Dogs again, and it's going very, very well. Instead of doing the selfie contest that happened last year, it's a QR code that's getting scanned. We're the third period sponsor. I forget what the number was, Kat, but do you have an updated number after the first few games of number of scans?
So we are at 261 participants, and what we're doing is we have like a jumbotron. We just have a QR code, and people sign up for our newsletter, and they get entered in the draw for $100 gift cards. And it's like 150 times better than last year where we did the first period. I think the Ice Dogs having some more competitive games, or people are sticking to that third period, and they're obviously watching our ads, so it's going really well to connect to the Ice Dogs. Yes.
Very good. And then the last thing I'm gonna talk about before throwing it over to Kat for the gift card update is we do need a motion to print another round of the shop local bags. That the plan is to use them for giveaways and contests like that, but also to have members sell them in their stores so they're gonna be sold for $5, and then members will have an opportunity to buy them at cost and then have them in their storefronts so they choose. But I do need a motion to approve a second run of the support local bags within partnership with the city of St. Catharines up to a max cost of $2,000.
So I believe you would make that motion, Katie?
Yeah, I just need a seconder.
Yeah, seconder. Seconded by Amy, just first round shot. Any
Awesome.
discussion on that? All in favor? All right, approved.
Thanks, everyone. And then I'll throw it over to Kat for the gift card update.
Just as you guys know, we're launching gift cards. We're set to probably launch first, second, the end of next week or the beginning of the following week. We have 27 people, businesses signed up so far for the gift cards, which you're told is actually ahead of the curve. We're hoping to keep getting more businesses signed up. So the way the gift card works, it's a gift card. So if anyone that can take Visa is able to accept the gift card, it's all downtown gift cards. So dentists, your tax person, lawyers, anyone that would have a QS that accepts Visa. So we're really hoping to get like a wide array of choices downtown. If you guys have not yet signed up for it, all you have to do to sign up is just run a transaction through your POS so that they're able to accept your business as a store that will be able to take the gift card. We're going to be selling the gift cards from downtown office in person, so you can pick it up, carry it off right there, but we're also going to be selling it online. So corporations can buy bulk gift cards due away for the holidays, or any treat, who doesn't want to treat downtown, and also individuals can buy online anywhere across the world. So that will be is being launched soon. It's not going away, so it's not just a holiday promotion. We're gonna have downtown gift cards going on for downtown for hopefully ever. And if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like to know specifically about them, I'd be happy to answer them for you. And we're also hoping, if you're able to help us get your neighbors signed up, because we want to see when we do our launch in a week or 2 weeks, we want to have as many businesses as possible to make it as attractive as possible for people to want to buy those gift cards.
I highly recommend doing the gift cards.
Yeah.
That was a huge success for us.
Fantastic. And to have them done by somebody else and have them be universal around downtown is really exciting. So is there a small, short little instruction thing that we can hand out to folks in our neighborhood?
There is, sorry, had I got better, I would have brought.
That's okay.
You guys, but there is a one pager.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can email to you, you can print it, or we can have someone bring them for us, send them to you if you want to use the door to door, that'd be awesome. A lot of people are like, yeah, let's sign up, but they just haven't taken the time to do it yet. So we can just push them into getting it done for the launch. That would be really great for the downtown.
That's super.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Anything else for the marketing committee? Excellent. Is there any questions for the executive committee update? All right, hearing none, so we'll move over to the financials. If I could ask Byron to present the financials.
Unfortunately, Byron's not here.
So Byron is not here. Did you want to present the financials or do you want to move it to the next meeting?
Whatever people prefer. So the financials were included, which is an email and the printouts on the table. So if anyone has questions, I can definitely answer any questions. Otherwise, things are kind of moving on as you know, we had planned. I mean, you'll see sometimes there are numbers that are a little bit higher. For example, if you look at summer events, it looks like we blew our budget, but that is because our sponsorship dollars that's under income is offset by revenue. So sometimes you just have to be able to look through it kind of thing. I will highlight one area that we may go over this year, and that is the annual general meeting, because we're actually doing 2 this year. Usually our annual general meeting is in February, March. just because then we can present our audited financial statements from the year before, even though it's extremely tight. But this year we are choosing to do it in November so that we can actually present the budget ahead of the budget being implemented, which makes a little bit more sense.
All right. Any questions? All right. Yeah, sorry, Stephen, yes.
Here, maybe I'm asleep here, but, so we're presenting the budget at the AGM. Is the budget been presented to the board?
Yes, it was approved at the last board meeting.
I wasn't asleep. I'm assuming that it's fully attached.
Yeah, so I can share the budget. I mean, to be completely honest with you, it was a 0% increase budget, so it was basically what we cut. Because with inflation, everything's gone up, so we had to cut back. So I think there was a fair bit of discussion at the last board meeting in regards to that. So some of the bigger cutbacks were events and our hand baskets and a few other little things like that to offset other costs.
Any update on grants or anything that's been coming in for this year?
I do have a bit of an update on that. Well, I can do it now actually. So just the one that we mentioned, so we've applied. Unfortunately, every grant that we've applied for so far this year has been rejected, other than the one for staffing. So that was through youth breaking barriers funds through I can't think of the other name, but so we got that, which will save us a good couple thousand in staffing cost for the marketing support position, which in additional to her going full-time as well, which is fantastic. We have applied for another grant that we're still waiting to hear back from, and we may not for a little while because we just submit it. Other than that, I think those are the main ones that are kind of recent.
Just from personal experience, I find once you get into this idea that grants are a piece of your sustainable income, you start to streamline how you're doing it. And so you're able to apply for more and more. Yeah, I think I have about 20 outstanding right now. So you just, once you get into that role. And there are some tools that we may want to look at. I was just sending Kat on his grant station where you can do, where it does more searches for you. So that's great.
Yeah, I guess the other side of that is making sure the grants are, that you're applying for, are grants that in fact are what you want to do. You're not just applying for grants just for the sake of it. In the end, it could cost you money.
And I will be completely honest with you, with us being in that kind of messy area of not a not-for-profit, legally, so to speak, because we're under the Municipal Act, it really limits what grants we can actually apply for. And usually the ones that we are able to apply for are very competitive. So that's why we've had so many unsuccessful bids this year. Lindsay is our leader in grant writing. So I don't even know how many grants she's applied for this year, but lots. And we do, now that I'm remembering, there's another one with her that's outstanding as well. So I will keep you posted. We personally, because of those limitations on our grant accessibility, do lean on sponsorships a lot more, which is why we have probably quadrupled, if not more, our sponsorship revenue this year.
Fantastic.
So I might just.
That's super impressive. Rachel.
Sorry, go ahead, Stephen.
Like the waving of hands when supporting staff, cities, staff, pay them properly. In order for the downtown association to do stuff, you've got to pay. Cost money, and so it falls on our members to decide whether they support the downtown or not. So holding the line, my word, is the non-starter. It gets you to the bottom. So I just wanted to share that. I don't agree with zero budgeting. I certainly agree with analysis of budget, but I don't agree with zero budget because it accomplishes less than you can. So that's my view.
Thank you very much, Stephen. We appreciate that. Absolutely. So I'm going to ask if we can have some mover to accept the financials as presented. Have someone to move that. Thank you, Jen. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Joe. All in favor? Okay. Moving on. Over to you, Jen.
Not too much to report from Streetscape. I'm gonna reach out to Lindsay today. I just wanna see how she's making out, I think she's back now. And I know that she's working on several grants. That's kind of a constant. I mean, that changes all the time. She's always working on a bunch. As mentioned in the last, board of director meeting a month ago, our focus for Streetscape right now is to come up with our goals for 2024, especially with the, obviously for beautification. Streetscape and sustainability includes beautification. If you have not attended a meeting for Streetscape. The garbage webinar, that urban waste webinar that Lindsay is organizing, that's coming up. That is part of streetscape and sustainability, and so are the hanging baskets, which we will no longer have next year. So we are trying to come up with a plan for beautification for the downtown, whether it be sponsorships or working with local landscape companies. We're exploring a bunch of opportunities and having quite a dynamic discussion about that, because we did accomplish our goal for 2023, which is fantastic. We now need new goals. So if anybody would like to join Streetscape and Sustainability because they have ideas and they've never spoken to anybody about that, or they already have a network of people that they feel might be absolutely enamored to be doing things downtown, like please join. We have been really making a lot of progress in this committee. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more progress with respect to waste come 2024. But everyone having a seat at the table and just sharing their stories and what they're dealing with respect to these things is really important for us to make decisions moving forward that we're actually representing what the membership wants and the goals we're trying to reach. So yeah, that's about it. But I'm curious to see how I go with Lindsay. She was in Australia. So I don't. Are you able to share anything? I was hoping that maybe the next meeting that that she would share herself.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Not through me or anything else.
Yeah, no, I mean, just so everybody's aware, Lindsay was invited to present in Australia. I'm not going to say the name of the conference because I won't get it right. But to esteemed colleagues and people in the field with regards to sustainability on her tree report that she did based on St. Catharines downtown. So she was fantastic. She made a lot of great connections, as she always does wherever she goes. So, and I think it really gave a lot of credibility to the tree report as well, in terms of, when we've been having a number of meetings with councillors and others about the tree report, and when she turns around and says, I presented on this in Australia, they're like, oh, and it really makes them sit up and realize that this is very credible work that she has done, that is very esteemed throughout it by her colleagues. So, I'm very grateful for that, and everything she does. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think that's a great idea to have her present.
I really do. I feel like it should come from her. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Good idea. And now we move on to governance. As you've noticed, I just generally kind of expect people to read all the reports, and if you have any questions, great. I can give you some highlights. We're just looking at kind of a way to how does our board work? Is our board a hands-off board? Is our board a consulting board? Is our board a more active one? So we're kind of tossing those ideas, which is kind of an really interesting idea of going into the different models. And we did approve an internal document for committee members around COVID. So we made it as simple as possible. Is there any questions about that report? Yeah.
Because obviously that is a very dynamic discussion. Has there been more discussion on board representatives for different sections? When that definition occurs. Just because, I can't remember who mentioned it today about, dropping off the pamphlets to our neighbors. Oh my gosh, you know, I barely can remember my postal code, so already in this meeting, I've forgotten who said it. Where we can go and speak to our neighbors and hand these things out, where if we're,
About the cards.
about the cards, about the gift cards, thank you, that, these are really important initiatives, and I feel that we get so much more engagement, the more engaged we are with our neighbors.
Yeah.
It really is just a natural progression that once we're able to define ourselves a little bit better, I really, I'm not sure if that's being discussed again, but I feel that it's important. Because if we, as a board member, we, or as the director of the BIA, if we're able to have a board that we look after and we're able to engage with those individuals, I think that it will just yield tremendously for all of these initiatives.
Yeah, I'll take that back for sure. I know it absolutely is a consideration when we're electing Sherman. So I think we all have it kind of in our heads very much that, but to give people responsibility for specific areas, well, I'll take that back to the governance. Any other questions for governance? Woo, right along. I love our 2 minutes. My favorite part of this whole agenda was the 2-minute events committee meeting. And we'll move on to advocacy. Over to you, Rachel.
Yeah, so just a quick update. Thank you to everybody who was able to make the last meeting. We had quite a robust discussion. We did decide that we're probably not going to move forward with the fight for small business tax class. It is quite an uphill battle in terms of going through the region for approval and going through council for approval. And unfortunately, the return is probably minimum. It's probably a couple of hundred a year. So we did decide to focus on some other things, one of which being SCDA. So as everybody knows, SCDA loans are coming due. They gave a bit of a joke of an extension by like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So we are continuing to advocate as well with the ODIA and SCDA fit on. We are currently drafting letters that will be again sending to council to say, hey, please write another letter, because council kindly wrote a letter to our local MPs and MPs at our request letter. Yeah. So very grateful for their support previously. We will be pulling on it again. Just the more loud voices, the better. So that will hopefully be going out shortly. And then just the other things that we're working on was vacancy and building city relationships.
And that actually, I wonder if this would fit into that piece around the advocacy about how can we support, piece of Jen was bringing up around support for city staff. Would that fit into our advocacy group?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, would you take that back?
Yeah.
Right, so now we've got a place to venture that.
And just a quick question, I didn't know even if Robin might know more. I thought, just online in the news that the premiers had all written a letter to the federal government in use, and I didn't know if there was, if I maybe just missed it in the news, if there was follow-up on that, or was it well received? Did anybody hear anything?
I don't think anyone heard anything, unfortunately. I think it got lost a little bit. I'm pleased that they did that. And to be honest with you, it kind of delayed a little bit our letter getting out, because we're very firm that our ask is going to be that everybody gets forgiveness, not just those able to repay it. But the premiers asked for something different. So now we're kind of like, do we stick with what the premiers want, or do we keep true to our gun? So that's our delay. So.
I mean, if anyone can pay it, it's certainly Costco, the Westons, and the other individuals that I've during COVID and got $9 for free. Okay, so yeah.
Thank you, Rachel, for representing us with OBIA and for always being a champion of small business and business downtown. Thank you. Any other questions for advocacy? And back to you, Rachel, for executive director update.
Awesome. So I'll try and keep it quick. So just I've met with 3 new businesses that just, well, not new businesses, but 3 businesses that have moved to BI recently. So really excited for them. I also met.
Who are they?
So we know are just doing all the tests, aren't you?
Yeah.
It is
The Vietnamese spring rolls?
nope.
They were, I ate there. They were great.
They're amazing. Yeah. So it is Kat, I'm looking at you for help here. It is Niagara Food Tours. And who moved their offices downtown, which is great. And then the, not consulting, the counselor firm, Josh is from, don't remember his name now. We will follow. And then, so,
And yeah,
and then the third one, I should have wrote these in my notes, shouldn't I?
no, that's okay.
The third is a lady that is moving, and I can't really announce the name of the business, but she has purchased the Meridian Credit Union building and is completely renovating it to be a hopefully more attractive use of space.
Wow.
Yep, yeah, as of the 31st.
Oh.
Yeah. Do we know what the business is, or is that the secret?
I don't think
Is it
it
retail?
service, everything. But I do think it's a good addition.
How exciting to
Anything is
celebrate
good.
new openings, so.
Yeah, and I like that she purchased the building, so that gives a lot of security, so that. Yeah, same with Niagara Food Tours, with a bit of a collaborative space there, but they are part owner of that building. So that again gives them security, they're not going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So really, really good. And then the counselor is at XL North. So he chose specifically downtown St. Catharines. And I hope I'm not giving ourselves too much credit, but I think to be in the BIA to take advantage of our marketing. He was before just working from home. And so the benefits of being in a BIA would give. And literally within a week of him moving downtown, he reached out, set up a meeting with us and said, okay, how am I getting involved? So
Amazing.
really good. Woo! Yeah, it's great. I'm sorry, I was supposed to keep it quick. Then other one.
We're good for time, actually, I think.
Okay, good. So then the other quick one, Better Cities was this weekend, was fantastic. It was really great panel. And the moderator was fantastic. I don't know where.
I don't know where they were from. But
I find that
all
moderator always draws so much
amazing.
attention though, you know,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
They were amazing. Amazing.
So just in case people don't know what Better Cities is, it's put on by Better Neighborhood, which is just on Ontario Street. And it showcases films from all over the world on initiatives, typically community members have done to improve their city and to help inspire others to do those improvements in their city. And then that's followed by a panel discussion. There were a ton of really great questions. A lot was focused on downtown St. Catharines. So it really shows that the people that were in the audience are very downtown focused, want to see downtown improve. So it was just very, great networking opportunity, a great way to show how we can improve the city. And there was a lot of city staff there, which is really good too. And then on Sunday, I led a tour with Dan from Better Neighborhoods and Scott from planning. So really great. That was very focused on the development coming to the downtown. We had a good number of people out to learn, a number of people that just moved to like the Yates neighborhood and so forth, wanting to learn more about downtown. So it was really good. This month, I've also met with 4 counselors and the mayor regarding support for the downtown. We sold 30 snowflakes, so making money, thank goodness. So we're at just over 7,000.
They were pretty.
So I'm sure they were more than more. The amount we paid for them, I agree with you completely, but
That was a good thing.
yeah, the cost to get them up and people don't like the bright white. So I think we're gonna have to change. So that gives us some money in the bank so that we can modify the lights, and most of them need fixed. Well, all of them now need fixed. So, yeah, and then we had a really successful pie festival just before Thanksgiving that brought in over $6,000 to local charities in partnership with Scotiabank to match that fund. So that was
Right on.
and then, as mentioned previously, just a quick plug, we do have our trauma informed care, I'm shortening the name, sorry, workshop on Thursday from 9 to 10. If anybody is able to go, as previously mentioned, a number of our small business owners are panelists. And there is also like info booths that will be set up to information on the supports available. And then shameless plug, the city has a survey out for their strat plan. There is one question that specifically mentions downtown. So please, if all you do is go through and only answer that question and select downtown, please do that, because the more people that can, through that, really highlight and prioritize the downtown, then hopefully that will be in the city's draft plan focus too. So do encourage each and every one of you to do that. It's open till I believe November 16th.
So can we share that with your association?
Yes, yeah, we have been through social media, but we will as well through both the newsletters and so forth too.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the only other last, I usually have the one support needed. So echoing what Pat said earlier, our gift card program, it is stronger the more members we have on it. So please, please, even if it's a case of, hey, have you heard there's a gift card coming? No? Oh, well, go call Kat, go call Rachel. Here's their number. That's all you need to say. Obviously, you're more than welcome to say more, but just the more people that mention it, they say when it's 5 times or something before it sinks in. So the more people that can kind of hound about this gift card, the better.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rachel. Any questions for Rachel? Hearing none, I'll ask for somebody to move to accept the reports as presented. I got Joe and Katie as seconds. I'm gonna mix it up a bit. All in favor? Woo, motion carried. New business. Anybody with any new business? I think we moved that one over to that one, but yeah.
I was actually just wondering if there was going to be any discussion about Garden Park.
Yes. So thank you. I meant to add that to the agenda actually. There is a meeting scheduled for Thursday with specific business owners that are directly impacted and have.
So let's just, for anybody who's not aware, Garden Park is where they are doing they're building a building between Carlisle and Garden Park. And there are some challenges with how they are building it.
Thank you for clarifying. Sorry.
Very diplomatically.
Yes. Yes. So the city has heard quite loud and clear, let's say, that there that there's challenges. I think it's people would like to have them act maybe quicker than they have been with regards to responding to those challenges. We're still seeing, unfortunately, a lot of very negatively impacting actions, some safety concerns and so forth. So the city is looking to both do this meeting and hopefully do as well an FAQ with regards to the development so that people know who are the right people to call. Because unfortunately, everything is going to the city. The city is not always the right one to deal with it. It might be Ministry of Labor, it might be Minister of Transportation and Environment. There's lots of them. So that is the challenge. So they're looking at providing a bit of clarification around that. The city has identified, and I don't think I'm out of line to say this, that there has been some challenges with regards to policies and bylaws that are in place prior to construction that were not representative of a city the size we are, or that we're gonna be. So they really didn't address certain developments and the impacts those developments have. So they're aware of that. They are trying to make those changes to the bylaws and policies. It is a bit of a slow process. It's also a bit confusing as to whose department should it be. So there's a lot of things they're trying to figure out. And honestly, I wish it had happened quicker, figuring that out. Unfortunate that it hasn't, because it has really made it become a much bigger, more impactful issue than it should ever be.
Now, the FAQs that you were mentioning, are those going to be contained within this meeting with specific businesses? Or are these FAQs that are going to be asked to the greater community or our BAA membership? Or is there going to be a specific, level of questioning or where it kind of cascades down to?
So the city is creating the FAQ document based on feedback and input they've already received. I have asked if we can additionally submit questions. So please, if anyone, and I'm doing an open poll out, not just those impacted, if anyone has questions or concerns, please bring them to my attention, especially before Thursday, because Thursday is a bit of an invite only meeting. I did request that it be open to all impacted, but they wanted to keep it restrictive for this time. Yeah, sorry. I will be, sorry, Joe, going door to door to those who are in the nearby vicinity, that are most impacted. But please, if I don't go to you guys, don't take offense. It's more just timing challenges. So please come to me if you do have those.
Yeah, Joan.
We're obviously very close to it. We're at Garden Park. And I've had more than a few conversations with John Bolton and you know, I share the concern for those that are right next to it.
Yeah.
That like Trust, and I don't know all of them, Rachel, know better than I, but you know, being that close, you know, just having that end of Garden Park closed all the time, I'd say it's inconvenient, but you know what, for being as close as we are, I would honestly say that, you know, I would have anticipated being impacted to a greater degree than we have been.
Oh, wow.
So it's, you know, it's got to be very difficult for those that are right there.
Yeah.
And you know, half a street down, they seem to be staging things pretty close to their building. I can only imagine, you know, it could have been years of difficulty in a broader area. So I don't know how you solve it. It's a huge investment.
Yeah.
And you know, we're patient, waiting for the payback for all of it.
Right, let's go to Amy and then Jen.
Just a quick question, if everyone goes to this focus meeting that's going to be, because I do know that obviously it's a huge impact to the building, would it put that building on hold so that now it would be like kind of
Longer.
I think, you know, with respect to damage that's occurred to buildings on Garden Park, as well as businesses that have not had an opportunity to thrive during the season that they would have normally. I did find it very disturbing when I found out that fire and ambulance or emergency services, I should say specifically, had a very difficult time accessing the parking garage where an individual was in distress because of the setup at the beginning of Garden Park. We are supposed to have accessibility. This isn't supposed to be a perpetually, you know, ongoing closure. I think it's more so, I think we're having these conversations now in this board meeting, and obviously the city is doing its due diligence in that way, but kind of circling back to what I was mentioning before, where it's one voice coming all the time, which is really you, Rachel, where again, you know, potentially if there's a board system for directors, that if we do have to start going door to door because we're not seeing the results that we feel our membership is asking for us, especially with respect to potentially life and death scenarios, like if someone is in distress in a parking garage and emergency services can't reach them, these are pertinent issues that would affect the BIA, number one. But number two, it's really about us having these discussions in my mind that we want to set ourselves up for success for the multitude of buildings that are going to begin to be constructed over the next 2, 3, 5 years, that we want to make sure that, especially when you were mentioning, Rachel, about the open lines of communication on whom should be emailed and contacted with respect to these things when city staff is overloaded. We really need to be contacting an NP or a counselor or something else, that having these proper channels, again, we're just setting ourselves up for success, not just the business owners, but for the whole community.
Here's the thing, and I think if I can paraphrase what you're saying, the suffering should not be in vain, right? So we're making mistakes now, so let's make sure we want to do in the future.
Yes.
We all want to have new buildings, we all want to have people downtown, living downtown, working, playing downtown. But there is definitely a gap in communication and working on the same side. And I can't imagine that it's either one of you, so I will blame you.
Yeah. I think also too, the same has to go for small businesses as big builders,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
We're saying everything so that we don't get into these problems.
Bingo, nailed it, Amy. Yeah.
Just one clarify, and maybe this is something that, it's kind of attitude. It's taken many months, years to get to a meeting. Like, and I think that's what needs to change, and maybe this is what's changed it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, but it's just attitude. I don't care how many staff, you know.
Thanks so much, Joe. You're gonna call this meeting. I think we are ready to end. Just a reminder, all the fun action happens at the committee level and then it comes up from here. So join a committee, get active, read your reports, and then come to your meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Jen, seconded by Sharvin, and we are out.